rearranging the deck chairs. We're going to go ahead and get our game simulated here. We got our Winchester 73s hosting the Boston Jelly Beans. Both teams are at 4-4. Simulate that beautiful game. 52-34, the Winchester 73s get the win. Complete with Weiner Shrinkin put up 31 points in the first half.
That completes the season sweep of Boston for Winchester.
Boston trying to make it a little too late in the second half. Weiner Shrinkin 28-38, 239 yards, 4 touchdowns clean. Jermaine Truman with some rushing as well. 7 carries, 14 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Marvin Dorsey, 9 catches of 69 yards. Nice. And 2 touchdowns.
I believe Truman, is that in...
Rhino Rhea?
Yeah, Rhino Rhea.
Yeah,
Rhino Rhea. Star player. Rhino Rhea. Yeah, I'd have to give it to Truman, though.
Yeah,
Three
and I think
touchdowns.
Truman did that in relief of Marcher Reedon?
No, Marshall Reedon is on Dinosaur.
Dinosaur, okay.
Yeah, different. Speaking of them, Flintstones and Dinosaur Fossils will be playing football after dark. Saskatoon Sparklefarts are at 500. They're taking on the Mungyeong and Munje at 3-5. Simulate the game. Mungyeong and Munje have too many active players, so when that happens, we have to remove the lowest ranked person who is not a kicker. To free agency we go. I don't remember if it's view rosters. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's view rosters.
Like I said, a little bit rusty in places, but I'll get back into form. All right, lowest ranked person is Eric Spivey.
No relation to Dan
Released.
or Junior?
You're cut.
Eric Spivey, gone.
Or Rick Spivey.
He sucked in the skyscrapers anyway.
Saskatoon Sparklefarts. Mungyeong Munje. Simulate the game. And the Mungyeong Munje still getting back the form, a 40-35 win of the Saskatoon Sparklefarts. Park yo bum. Back in the game and doing stuff. Taylor Satsuma with some field goals also. All right. Park yo bum 32 of 53 rather for 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. Big yardage. Not much. T.J. Taylor with 2 rushing touchdowns. Satsuma with 4 field goals. The kicker's week apparently. Not much really to be said there. We'll see who we'll decide who player of the game is later time. Kingston Punishers at 5-3. They might be a team to look out for. They might be on the incline here. They're taking on the Baltimore Challenge Passers at 4-4. Simulate the game. Kingston on the move, 48-28. And they are up to 6-3. Look out for them. Timmy 2 times. A series of first quarter touchdowns, and then doubles it up, makes it 4. Manuel with a 50-yard kick return. That's pretty much going to seal him for player of the game. Brady had to come in. Baltimore couldn't get much going there. Timmy 2 times, 18 of 25, 190 yards.
Check the injury report for 2 times.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. That'll be a little bit later.
Yep.
But yeah, Emmanuel will get a player of the game honor for the kick return. Game coming up next will be Dead Horse Mountains against the Augusta Duffers. Oh yeah, we got points to give out. I forgot about that. Oh crap. 87% of you bet on the Reading Rainbows.
Suckers!
Draenor had 2,500 points on the Pittsburgh Salad Fries. Here's an outcome for you. Sploosh.
All
Thank you, everyone.
Belong to Draenor.
All your points belong to Draenor. Fighting Polygon team at 4-4. They're taking on 5-3 Hope Peak. Simulate the game. Polygon team have too few wide receiver linebackers.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up drafting.
Boom, boom, boom.
Was it wide receiver DB or wide receiver linebacker?
Wide receiver linebacker, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's linebacker.
That's it. All right. Lowest ranked person who is not an actual player. Not Chris Kerr, not Wilson Thomas, not Eddie Gallis. Dave Stills. You're in.
Dave Stills, but who's buying?
Moving on. Yes. Fighting Polygon team at 4-4, taking on Hope Peak at 5-3. Simulate the game. Hope puts up a beating, 6-3 record, 63-34. Including some defensive heroics, 9-0 at the end of the first quarter. Makoto Naegi coming back in. And then Makoto Naegi gets back to form. Finishes the game 22 of 33, 240 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Might be looking at Daryl Hitchcock with 5 catches, 69 yards. Nice. And 3 touchdowns. Might be looking at Daryl Hitchcock as player of the game.
He hitched his cock. Oh,
Oh, yeah, and he had 13 tackles, a fumble, and interception. So, yeah.
His cock did a lot of hitting.
Yeah. The San Antonio Gorditas at 5-3. They're taking on the Lafayette Subjuggulators at 2-6. Simulate the game. In overtime, San Antonio wins. They go to 6-3. Lafayette is in contention.
There is a screaming Cajun somewhere.
Yeah.
Around the world. Indeed.
In overtime, McAllister. In overtime, let's see what happened.
Except for with Lafayette, it's not contention, it's contention.
Contention.
Oh, yeah, because they're French.
Lionel McAllister, 27-51, 246 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Lafayette looking abysmal in the passing range. Both quarterbacks not even getting over 100 yards. 1 touchdown apiece. Lychee and Dorado having himself a rushing touchdown. Leon Jackson with a rushing touchdown also. Joe May, yes you may, 6 catches, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. Looking at player of the game honors.
I think Fluff is demanding her pound of flesh.
You can find it in the tank. South Park Billhells at 2-6 are taking on the Kansas City Mahomies at 3-5. Another 2 teams in contention.
Ooh, ban.
You don't say. Enjoy my ham, ban. South Park Billhells at 2-6, taking on the Kansas City Mahomies at 3-5. Simulate the game. The Mahomies have too few active players. Bottoms up drafting. It's the lowest ranked person.
Everybody's still partying.
Is the lowest ranked person who is not a kicker. Let's go into the Mahomies. And pass all.
Be hilarious if it's Eric Spivey. It is Eric Spivey.
It is Eric Spivey. Eric Spivey is joining
Oh my God.
the Kansas City Mahomies. This is why you need to answer your phone. How about that journeyman quarterback, Eric Spivey?
Has that happened where where a player gets cut from another team, but in the same
Yeah.
week gets
It's happened.
hired by another?
It's happened. South Park Billhells at 2-6. Taking on the Kansas City Mahomies at 3-5. Go ahead and simulate the game. Nice. 69 points.
Nice.
The 28,
Nice.
the 26. And the Mahomies are in contention. Still. Flip the stick at the wrong section there. Wow. Stumpy nothing. And then Turner came in. And then Turner did stuff. And then Turner did some more stuff. Maybe Stumpy Nothing was the problem. Maybe they switched it.
So that's a second quarter skunk?
Indeed.
Yep. Junior Turner, 13 of 18, 150 yards, 4 touchdowns. He'll probably get player of the game honors coming in from injury. And also had a rushing touchdown. Stumpy Nothing had one also. Did Labibity play in this one?
Yes.
Oh, he did. 21 of 38, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Just not much you could do. South Park's got the weapons. They got the moves. 2 more games to simulate before we get into game number 2. The Madison Wolfpack are at 5-3. They're taking on the 3-5 Alaska Pipeline. Alaska has a chance to become a 2-time tanker. Simulate the game. And they said, no, we want to win this and get back into it. 46-41. No T, all shade on that interception return. Merton came alive. Foster had to come in. This is the story of the backups coming in. Jimmy Yinzer suited up right before the 4th quarter to catch a pass. It was from Alaska, so yeah, it worked. Glenn Foster coming off the bench, 21 to 32, 173 yards and 4 touchdowns. Merton potentially out with injury.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we're looking for what Warner's injury is.
Warner's injury.
And what happened to Merton. And 2 times.
Oh, we'll get everybody. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
And our final simulated game, the Llanfair PG Tips, with their star quarterback Ryan Leaf out for the season with injury. Taking on the 5-3 Burbank Buzzchins. Simulate the game. And the Llanfair PG Tips are in leading in contention. They lose 45-12.
Oh, God.
2-yard run by Williams. And the extra point was missed. Kinney adds in a field goal. It was 10-9 at the end of the second. And then McAlpine comes along, 1-yard run. Wilkes with the interception return blanks them 21-0 in the 3rd. And they just run away from there.
Came in from halftime and McAlpine got into the good stuff.
Natrone Williams passing 23 of 32, 154 yards and interception. McAlpine having a stellar night, 27, 34, 45, 208 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Led them in rushing.
And 8 rushes for 46 yards also. He's not usually known for his rushing. I guess he was feeling the energy. Go through our injury report real quick. Starting all the way at the beginning. Andre Stewart for South Park is listed as questionable. Blake Green is out for 9 weeks with the broken ribs for the Burbank Buzzchins. John Alderman, Abdullah Amblangana is out with a broken thumb. And Cedric Burns, the kicker, is out with injury. Baltimore dealing with some problems. Carl Burrow out for the season for Augusta. Barris driving, the backup, is out for 4 weeks. They are struggling without him. Tamarick Wright also injured.
Mm-hmm.
Rex Taylor out 4 or 5 weeks for the Dinosaur Fossils. We Had a Baby Eats a Boy is coming back next week for the San Antonio Gorditas. I think they're going to be the team to look out for. Anthony Figgins listed as questionable with a busted hand. Wizardy Herbert out for 6 weeks. Kenny Mitchell 1 week. Joel Lee 11 weeks. Kwame Blake out with injury for a week. We have some players coming back next week, but for the most part, Boston's been struggling with injuries. Henry Coleman, Lamont Starks out for the season for the Kansas City Mahomies. Justice is served, their star defensive player, out 8 weeks. Sammy Weaver out 7 weeks, and that shows on the record they have been struggling. The Dead Horse Mountains are clean. Clean injuries, clean record. Pete Randall, Torrance Turner, Phil McGrath, and also TJ Taylor, all injuries for the Mungyeong Munje. Phil Suggs out for 2 weeks, and Makoto Naegi still listed as probable.
Even though he came back.
Even though he came back. Yeah, makes sense.
Probable.
Ryan Leaf is out for the season again for the Llanfair PG tips. He's looking to become a bust in two football leagues.
Eternally probable Makoto Naegi.
Eternally probable. BJ Christensen out for the questionable. He's listed as questionable for the PG tips. Alaska is clean. Patrick Ells and Gus Davis listed for injuries. Gus Davis is listed as questionable.
What is it with feet on that team?
What's that?
What is it with the feet injuries there?
They like feet. They don't wear shoes. Canada
If
rule.
you like to see feet,
No.
No. Get out of
not
here.
now.
Champ Walter with a broken toe. He's out for 3 weeks.
Oh,
John Wallace has an upper arm fracture. Is listed as questionable for the Reading Rainbows. Tiki Johnson's out for a week with a foot stress fracture. Yeah, we're seeing that Reading's looking pretty clean, but they still don't have the tops in the league.
Pretty clean.
Pretty clean. Horace Brickley, Kurt Warner, broken collarbone, 10 weeks. Horace Brickley, his brother. Thank you. Antonio Cox is a strained Achilles. He's out for 4 weeks. He still came back to play. Damian Jones with hip bursitis from having his car keys get embedded into a side of his...
he'll be back soon.
Fuck Cox.
Overdrive. He's fat! Thank you. Overdrive with broken ribs. Listed as probable. Ben Sherwood. That's going to be tough for Saskatoon because they rely on the Overdrive, who's offensive heavy. Was listed as probable. We'll see how he plays. Flintstones have Josh Boone out with injury and Luther Houston out for 6 weeks. Yabba Dabadoo out for the season for the Lafayette Subjuggulators, and Seth Hicks out for the season as well. Ooh. I'm getting my ass chopped. Yeah, gonna do. Damn. Ralph Richardson, 4 weeks injury. Sharif Rock DeCasbo with a sprained elbow out for a week. Interesting. And those are all the injuries.
He said, look to your left.
He's slumbering. He got his ass out in the air.
Love it. We're going to do, it's a doubleheader next week. Here's what we're going to do. Boston and San Antonio. And we're going to do Alaska and Kingston.